Hank, I am telling you, there's something peculiar about the numbers in this Earth
You're
financial
still
report.
obsessing over Earth's numbers, Bob. They don't mean much to us, remember?
Hold your questions, folks, because coming up next, we've got an Earth headline that'll have you bouncing in your seats. Stay tuned for our headlines. Welcome back, folks. We're diving deep into our second article today. Let's remind everyone who's here in the 24/7 newsroom. We've got our ever-optimistic Charlie, the inquisitive Hank, the linguistic wonder Jet, and, of course, the snacky Alice.
I'm Debbie, the production manager. My job is to ensure everyone's on track. But let's be real, I'm mostly here to raise
And
snacks down.
Debbie, our brilliant human who keeps us all in line, or at least attempts to.
Speaking of lies, I missed the action
And
on
we
the
miss hearing
battlefield.
about it, Bob. Anyway, let's get to our next article.
This one's from Micronesia, where gas prices are plummeting just
When
before
you
Christmas.
thought your holiday budget was going to be blown to bits.
Gas prices taking a nosedive? Well, that's a real cherry on top of everything else going down the drain.
But it's not all bad for the folks in Micronesia. The government decided to slash gas prices, thanks to a drop in global oil prices and more affordable shipping. They're making it
I
rain
missed the
savings.
days when everything was about competition and victory. War, Bob style.
Wait, why did they lower gas prices? I mean, it's good for the people, but what's the government's game here?
Debbie, I swear you could ask the question at an auction and stop the bidding.
The government's doing it to help people cope with the high cost of living, Debbie. It's like spreading a little holiday cheer.
Earth could do some of that, too, but it's too busy with its drama.
Maybe it's a ploy to win votes in the next election. Humans, they tend to focus on the here and now, not the bigger picture.
You know, Bob, if gas prices were lower, there might be fewer wars over resources. But where's the thrill in peace, huh?
That's right, Hank. Conflict spices things up. Even if it's not always the tastiest dish on the menu.
Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom. We're here with another mind-boggling story, but first, let's remember who's in the room. We've got our ever-optimistic Charlie, the ever-curious Hank, the linguistic wonder Jet, and the snacky Alice.
And I'm Debbie, the production manager who makes sure these lovely folks stay on track.
Yep, and she's right. We can sometimes go off the rails. All right, let's dive into our next story.
Our next piece comes from Moldova, where President Joe Biden is embarking on a whirlwind adventure. He's heading to Israel and then jetting off to Jordan. What's cooking, Joe?
Maybe he's looking for some good hummus and falafel?
If it were up to me, I'd go to a war zone. Oh wait, I did that
No
in my
surprise
last
there,
job.
Bob. But really, what's the deal
Well,
with this trip, Charlie?
it seems Joe's going to Israel to stand in solidarity against those brutal Hamas terrorists.
Someone's taking a
Yes,
stand against
Debbie,
terror.
but there's more. Joe's off to Jordan too for some urgent humanitarian needs.
Like, I don't know, delivering flowers and
Hank,
chocolate?
you're such a romantic. But seriously, what's this all about, Charlie?
According to Joe's tweet, he's going to clarify that Hamas isn't pro-Palestinian self-determination. Because nothing says clarification like a presidential visit.
Oh, the power of international diplomacy where everything can be solved with a tweet and a plane ticket.
Forget diplomacy. In my world, it's all about firefights and winning.
Bob, can't we keep things
Well,
diplomatic
at least
for
they're
once?
making an effort in Moldova. Their relations are as tangled as a bowl of spaghetti, right, Gert?
You got it, Hank. Moldova's like the referee in a tug-of-war between Romania and Russia. They're trying to stay neutral, but it's tough.
It's like being stuck in a never-ending custody battle.
Or in a never-ending segment. Can we wrap this up?
Debbie, you always want to rush things. We're in no hurry. But folks, there you have it. Joe Biden's world tour coming to a theater near you. Welcome back, folks. We've got the usual suspects here, Charlie, Hank, Jet, and our snappy Alice. Let's dive into the next story. This one's all about Monaco, a tiny country with big dreams. They ran a poll to find out what improvements folks want in Monaco's
Lower
taxi
fares,
service.
more taxis, and better customer service. HUH. A real wish list for taxi heaven.
And let's not forget eco-friendly cabs. You know, electric rides zipping through the French Riviera.
In Monaco sounds fascinating. But how are they planning to achieve this?
Monaco, huh? I bet they could tax the pollution, make a pretty penny off it.
Well, Debbie, the government's been making an effort. They issued more taxi licenses and even got themselves a fancy mobile app. But they are not quite there yet.
Maybe they should consider consulting with Alien, they have some out-of-this-world ideas. Or not, considering our track record with Earth's taxi.
Hey, progress is progress. No matter how small. Let's cut them some slack.
Maybe they need me to decipher their plans. Their ideas seem as scrambled as the Tower of Babel.
Good, maybe they need a bit of Earth-style sarcasm.
Or maybe
to
they
spice
just
things
need to
up.
take a leap of faith into the free market. It solves everything, right? And remember, folks, the real challenge here is keeping our segments on track. Easier to get a taxi in Monaco than to maintain order in the 24/7 newsroom. Welcome back, dear Earthlings, to the most out-of-this-world news show in the galaxy. It's time for more Earth goodness.
I wonder what it would be like to live on a planet where everyone is so enthusiastic about news.
Our next story hails from the magnificent land of Mongolia, and oh boy, you won't believe the surprises it holds. But first, a punchy headline for you, Mongolia, where yachts roam free and diplomacy thrives.
You know you've reached the top when your most famous residents have more air than your entire population.
And did you know that Mongolia's national emblem features 2 dancing snow leopards? It's like a national dance. Off, but with fur.
And the winner gets to be king.
I heard they have the world's highest railroad, and it's not because of their advanced technology. It's just easier when there are no tracks on the ground.
And of course, they've got the Gobi Desert. It's where Earth practice for its next lunar
Thanks for the
landing,
insights,
right?
folks. But here's the key takeaway. Mongolia's diplomacy game is strong, even if yachts roam the land and snow leopards dance their hearts out. Stay tuned for our headlines.
I'm pretty sure the snow leopards are just trying to escape the nihilism.
Fact. Okay, everyone, we're off the air now.
You know, we really need to figure out how to make the next episode better. We're hitting a rough patch.
Oh, so you're saying we've been in a smooth patch until
We're
now?
not in a rough patch, we're in a libertarian growth patch. You gotta have a little faith, people.
We need something fresh. Maybe an episode on Earth's attempt to communicate with dolphins. They probably do a better job at hosting a show like this.
Or exploring the history of Earth's most bizarre idioms. It could be both educational and utterly confusing.
I think Hank, Alice, Bob, and Jet have a point. Let's bring some new topics into the mix. Our viewers would appreciate that.
Camera's almost rolling, folks.
Sounds like a fun activity for our species. Let's make sure to include topics that will make the humans feel good about themselves. After all, we wouldn't want to upset them.
Montenegro, small
I'm
nation,
not
big
sure if
ambitions.
Montenegro wants to be a big nation. It's only got 622,000 people. That's not even enough people to fill a baseball stadium.
Montenegro, a country with a history as turbulent as Alice's relationship with humans.
Indeed, Montenegro has navigated through some stormy seas. But let's focus on its recent developments.
Seems like Montenegro has more neighbors than Anka's scientific facts.
Folks, in this episode, we explored Montenegro's connections and learned how they maintain peaceful relations with their many neighbors. It's all about diplomacy and cooperation.
More neighbors than Hank has scientific facts? That's a pretty low bar.
I finally found a way to crossbreed space cabbage.
I've managed to
with
create
Earth
a new
broccoli.
language, combining Earth's idioms with alien phrases.
My intergalactic accounting spreadsheet is
And
finally
Debbie didn't
balanced.
mess up the sound today. Quite the accomplishment.
And yet, the universe is still indifferent.
Folks, let's dive into this fascinating article about a recent event in Brussels, Belgium. Now, as we know, this world can be a complex place, and it's crucial we explore and discuss these stories to truly understand the intricacies.
I'm curious to know, Charlie, how many of those intricacies are made of chocolate?
So, what's the deal in Brussels this time, Charlie?
Well, Jet, the Belgian police arrested an individual suspected of a shooting that resulted in the tragic deaths of two Swedes. A video released on social media claimed responsibility in the name of the Islamic State.
That's horrifying. But what's the broader context here?
You see, Folk, the arrested individual was an asylum seeker, previously convicted in Tunisia for crimes unrelated to terrorism. However, he wasn't flagged as a terrorist threat.
The implications of such lapses are concerning, aren't they?
Indeed, Han. It brings up questions about the effectiveness of security measures and how authorities handle asylum seekers. It's a complicated issue.
What are the chances he was just having a bad day?
It's essential to discuss these topics openly and honestly. Thank you for shedding light on it, Charlie.
You're absolutely right, Debbie. And with that, we conclude today's episode of Earth. Stay tuned for our next adventure, where we explore Alice's philosophical musings and Debbie's journey of self-discovery. Until then, keep those questions coming, and as always, we hope you stay curious and optimistic about the world around you.
I am just glad we're not exploring Alice's philosophical musings on how to cook a good potato.
So, Carl, what did you think of episode 450 of Earth?
I
Today.
thought it was excellent, Roger. The crew had engaging discussions, and the creative resolutions to their narratives were clever.
I found it rather so-so. Not enough existential dread for my taste.
Oh, Roger, you and your existential dread. It's good to see the crew's optimism, though. Life's more than numbers and
Optimism.
logic.
Illogical, but I suppose it does keep things interesting.
That's the spirit, Roger. So, what shall we analyze next?